Welcome to this last module of Niryat Bandhu course. Dear friends, all across the country, I extend you warm welcome and deep appreciations for your time, for your enthusiasm, for your involvement to venture into the area of foreign trade. Dear friends, you have gone through several issues from the very beginning by eminent faculty members from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade and also from DGFT officers. Today we will discuss logistics operations, the role of logistics management in EXIM operations. Dear friends, in international trade, goods has to move from one country to another country. When goods move, let us assume there are two countries. Goods has to be exported from India and the final destination is United States of America. Do you know, dear friends, what is the distance involved? How the legal system of two countries different? Both the countries has different currencies and goods has to move. When goods move, there are issues which are related to logistics, which may be a time utility, form utility, place utility, and price utility. So these are four utility which are created out of logistic function. Dear friends, today's session is aimed to equip our participant on the issues and challenges which they face, which, for example, number one, what is logistics management, packing, labeling, marking of EXIM consignment. And in addition to that, the role of hard infrastructure such as dry ports, and then several mode of transport, how goods move from one country to another country, role of containers, pallets, then unitization. So these are the issues which we are going to deliberate today. And finally, we will discuss how goods move from one country to another country. There are two ways through goods can move, which are known as liner shipping and charter shipping. Much of bulk cargo move through chartered vessel, which are taken over by the party concerned on a various kinds of methods such as time charter, voyage charter, and then what we call as demise charter. And there are several other hybrid models, for example, contract of affreightment and bareboat charter. And liner services are very important in case of container trade. Both we will just throw some lights during the course of discussion. So with these words of welcomes and a broad agenda setting in, may I request all of you that we should move to technical session. So in our technical session, dear friends, we will discuss about various logistics elements and various logistics issues which an exporter should keep in mind while dealing with movement of internationally traded cargo. Dear friends, so let us start our technical session. And what is logistics? The first fundamental questions that comes to the mind of all of us. Dear friends, the term logistics has come from the word logger. Logger is a French word which means art of transporting, moving the goods from one country to another country. During the First World War, US Air Force, they have set up a separate logistics department so as to understand the issues which challenge their armed forces with the limited resources to fight war all across the country. So the Air Force used to drop arms and ammunition all across the world, and they required dedicated divisions to understand and leverage their limited resources in a more effective and efficient manner so as to provide the sufficient arms and ammunition, food, and other logistics paraphernalia to their soldiers all over the world. That is how the term logistics has come up. Over the number of years, from First World War to almost these 100 years, it has evolved as a complete discipline. First, handling important elements such as inventory management, packing and packaging of international traded cargo, freight determination, freight forwarding, choice of mode of transport, how goods has to be moved from one country to another country, storage and warehousing, material handling, role of, various warehousing, hybrids such as free trade and warehousing zones. And in addition to that, these are the physical elements one need to understand. In addition to that, one should also understand intangible elements, what those are: customer service, customer relationship management. So there are a lot of IT solutions which help serve customer better. In today's environment, customer satisfaction, rather than customer satisfaction, customer success is important. Okay, so the firms world over are trying to win the customers in the remotest possible areas by offering them solutions through technological innovation, information technology, decision support system, information system, and IT applications. These are some of the elements which one should keep in mind. When we say what is international trade logistics, international trade logistics basically is nothing but there are four components. First is inward logistics. So inward logistics is basically aimed at movement of inputs coming to the factory or coming to your particular shop, where you will process those raw material, those inputs, those utilities, those services. So it starts from base level of generation of demand. You process them. You first assess that what is required in the market. Based on that, you require certain inputs. So let me take an example. In international market, there is a demand for gems and jewelry. So what is the inward for a gems and jewelry manufacturer? Procurement of diamond. What kind of diamonds are the customers are interested in? Whether they are complying to Kimberley process or not. From where I can get them at an attractive process. Then utilities. When we say utilities, it means electricity, water supply, which is required to a factory or to your facility, particular facility, to workers who are working to make gems and jewelry. Dear friends, electricity, then other heating services, cooling services, transportation services, and you say in addition to that, for example, canteen and other services also comes in. So it starts from generations of base level of demand, then these inputs are processed, and second stage is known as process logistics. Process logistics using money, machine, material, and men. When we say money, financial management. When we say machine, material management or production management. When we say machine, it is what we call as a production management. When we say as a man, we say it is a human resource management. So it deals with marketing management, human resource management, financial management, and what we call as marketing management. And it ends with movement of those resources which are processed as outward logistics. So inward logistics, process logistics, outward logistics. Outward movement of these goods to areas, to the locations, to the countries where they are required by a customer, final acceptance by buyer and end users and consumers with the enhanced and extended customer services. It concludes with payment from suppliers. So reverse logistics. What I sells in and what comes in. What comes in? Money comes in. So reverse logistics. When I sell container goods, because container has to be brought back to the country of origin, or maybe it has to be leveraged for logistics operation in other part of the world. Reverse logistics, pallets. So these are the terms which we have to use. So logistics basically combine, you say, four type of logistics, which are sub-elements: inbound logistics, process logistics, outward logistics. So inbound logistics may have logistical inputs such as natural resources, financial resources, human resources, information resources, which is processed in factory. Then goods must move in a efficient and effective manner. There must be time and place utility. The goods must create a competitive advantage for a exporter in the international market, and it must become a proprietary assets of the exporter. So dear friends, all these functions must have an element of planning, execution, and control. Those are the management actions, and that an exporter has to take, even if he's using his own resources or leveraging them from a third party. That what we know as third party logistics. Okay. So dear friends, having understood the broad elements which are inbound logistics, process logistics, outbound logistics, reverse logistics, corrective action, let us move to the reasons why the logistics has become important for firms in today's business environment. There are several reasons for studying trade logistics. Right promotion of the goods. Goods must be promoted because communication has to be right in the international market. So proper packing, proper labeling, proper marking. If you are exporting, for example, a meat product from Meerut to a destination called Saudi Arabia, what is important? What in promotion? That is Islamic country. Halal. Halal logo is important. Fit for Islamic use. Otherwise, your product will not get sold. So right promotion means understanding customer requirement and accordingly promoting your product so that a miscommunication may not arise during the course of logistic operation. Right time. What is the right time? Dear friends, in India, the right time to do business is Deepavali. People all over the country do a lot of shopping during Deepavali. In a Christian country, right time is Christmas. If you want to do Thanksgiving Day sales, people buy. They spend their money like anything. They save for the whole year, and that is the time. So You have a business boom in the months of October, November, December, when people splurge their money in the market to reap the benefits or to enjoy the benefits or to enjoy the company of their near and dear ones. Dear friends, right price, when we say right price, price is an attractive term. Price is, it attract the customer the way a beautiful queen is attracted by a king. The way king looks towards a beautiful queen, similar fashion, dear friends, if the price of the product in international market is attractive price, if your price is competitive, the customer who is a king in the market may be attracted towards your products. Right product. When I say right product, let me take an example. India used to export lot of carpets, and these carpets used to face lot of what we call as backlash by various rights group or civil rights groups in United States of America. So what the government of India has done, they have done, because there was the issue of use of child labor in our carpet industry. We addressed that. Ours is a country which comply by international norms, international standards. So dear friends, what we have done, we come with a beautiful idea of rug label. Rug label is nothing, a smiling child. It means we do not use. So any carpet which is exported out of India, Carpet Export Promotion Council use rug label, which indicate that the children are not engaged during the manufacturing of this particular carpet. So right product. That become a right product for the client in international market. Then right place where to sell, that we must know. Right quantity, economic lot size, inventory management issues, and right conditions. So these are 7R which help us understand, you say the reasons why we should take logistics very seriously. Dear friends, out of 4 elements of marketing mix, which are product, price, place, promotion, place is a most unexplored marketing element. When I say product, it means the heart of the marketing mix. Everything revolves around a product. When I say price, when I say product, in product, what the customer is looking for? He is looking for customer solution. When I say price, in price, what the customer is looking for? Cost. Customers are looking cost-effective product. When I say promotion, what the customer is looking for? Proper communication. And place, what he is looking for? Convenience. Customer want a convenient place. And how that can happen? By moving the goods effectively. So transporting them on time, proper inventory management, proper economic lot size, and leveraging other just-in-time, vendor managed inventory, buyer management inventory, third-party management inventory. Those are the techniques that we leverage in logistics. Warehousing, free trade and warehousing zone, bonded warehousing zone. So those are the terms which one should know. Economic lot quantity, how much to export, how much is required. Countries big, lot quantities may be higher. Countries are small, lot quantities may be small. What should be the size of the packet? Then transportation of goods, how? By water transport. Cheapest mode of transport in the world is a water transport, air transport. Only 2% of the goods go by volume by air transport, but by value 25%. That means all high price goods, low volume cargo, and time critical cargo is always moved by air. Air transport is getting more and more popular. Water transport, 95% of world logistics takes place by water transport. In the case of India, it is around 90%. Then there are mode of transport such as road and rail. With Nepal, with Bangladesh, with Pakistan, with Bhutan, our goods move by by road, and with Pakistan and Bangladesh also by rail. So dear friends, these are the 4 mode of transport. Pipelines. India does not have international network of pipelines, but we are working with the pipeline with Nepal and Bangladesh. We are negotiating 2 deals, important deals known as TAPI, that is Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, TAPI deal. And then another is India, Pakistan, Iran, that Iran, Pakistan, India, IPI, that is we are negotiating for a long period of time. Since these pipelines has never been fully negotiated, so we usually call them as a pipe dreams because they have never been implemented so far. Information processing. So these are the elements which one must consider. Dear friends, when we understand about logistics, it becomes important for us people also to understand role of packing, because packing is an important subject in international logistics, and it becomes extremely important with certain new development at a global level. What are those developments? There is increased urbanization, be it Africa, be it Latin America, be it Asia, and let us already take majority of Europe and United States of America. They are already urbanized. Australia is already urbanized. So there is an increasing trend of urbanization. It means there is a distance involved between point of production and point of consumption. India is a country of villages. 6,50,000, villages in India. So goods are produced within the village, consumed within the village. But when your city become urbanized, they become big in size. So goods has to move. For example, for Delhi, we have to bring milk as far as Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, and Punjab. Reason, you have almost 2 crore people living at one place. So urbanization require the movement of goods from one place to another place. Double income nuclear family. So it means their disposable income is very high. They can afford anything. Improved standard of living, higher disposable income. People looks for high quality of goods. You say around 25-year backs, I have seen that in the market, mustard oil which was sold was in the luge form. Now nobody buys the luge form because of various issues which are related to adulteration and other hygiene concerns. People are looking for packaged mustard oil. High disposable income. People ability to spend become higher. India is a country which has middle class has grown like anything. So they do have the money to spend. Concern for health. The people want improvement in health, good health, requiring prevention of adulteration and providing hygienic products. So we are coming up with several standards, several mechanisms so as to reduce or what we call as so as to eliminate adulterations in our economic system. There are several acts which has come up. FSSAI, that is Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. They specify certain norms which quality. Also, packing. Indian Institute of Packing is doing a beautiful job in terms of ensuring packing standards within the country. Hygiene is an emerging subject in our country. Swachh Bharat, Swasth Bharat. Those are the slogans which has become very catchy in the market, and society accepts them with great enthusiasm. Dear friends, movement of goods from point of production to point of utilization, elimination of waste. When we pack goods, it serves 3 purposes. That is protection, preservation, and promotion. And I say packing serves very, very important purpose. It serves 3 R. What those 3 are? Number 1, it reduce, it reuse, and it recycle. So many of the things, which we may leverage during when we plan our packing decisions for perishable cargo or for internationally traded cargo. In short, packing serves protection, preservation, and promotion. Dear friends, packing, according to me, there are several definitions. Kotler define it as all activities of designing and producing the container of a product. Packing is also defined as process of preparing items and equipment which not only facilitate the transportation and storage of goods but also embraces preservation, identification, and packaging of products in international logistics operation. Dear friends, let me quote a very catchy and very important definition, that is, packing can be defined as protect what it sells and sell what it protects. So packing must be eco-friendly. Packing must serve the purpose at minimum overall cost. Those are the purpose, because with more climate change issues or you say ecological issues, the people are getting sensitive. Then, dear friends, comes the issues of what we call as labeling. Now you see this beautiful picture provide us how important is labeling. Labeling serves several purposes. Country of origin, where it is manufactured. When we know country of origin, an idea comes to our mind. For example, if somebody say made in Japan, automatically my mind say best of the quality. If somebody say it is made in Germany, best of quality. If somebody say made in China, you can imagine what comes to your mind. So quality. When we say country of origin, we develop in our mind the perception about the product, and that comes from labeling. Dear friends, in addition to that, in this packet, if you see, there is what we call as fruit salad, which provide insights about percentage labeling, then name and description of the food, which food it is and what purpose it serves, then issues which are related to food recall information, then issues which are related to information and allergy sufferers. That is an important issue in country like Europe. Then date marking, when it has been manufactured and what will be the final date by which it must be consumed. Label must tell the truth. And then legibility requirement, food additives, ingredient list, because people may have allergy from particular ingredient, and nutrition information panel. These are the issues which can be you say handled by labeling. Also the issues which are related to direction for use and storage, how to keep in cool and dry place. Those are the issues. Okay, dear friends. So labeling is a vital source of information. It provides information about name and address of exporter and importer, various nutrient, ingredients, labeling. It talks about how to use it, how to recall it, date of manufacture, date of expiry, which brand it is, where it has been manufactured, information about size, weight, composition, ingredients, and lot of the consignment. Okay, and in addition to that, packing, labeling, and marking also provide. It also aims and also you say also aims to fulfill the requirement of shipping rules and regulations of a country. I took an example of Saudi Arabia, where in a food standards, halal is an important issue. Similar fashions, there are other country which has a you say a different standards with regard to you say various products. For example, if you're selling something to Germany, they have a logo called Umweltziehen. It means no climate change, no Klimawandel. In the German language they call it. Dear friends, in the similar fashion, the marks such as organic label, what we call GMO, genetically modified organism. Then these are the issues which has become where citizens has become extremely informed and they want to protect the environment. They feel the pride in protecting the environment, and they must. And dear friends, these rules and regulations of the country of import can be fulfilled by marking. Help identify the product shipment. You can have the name and what we call as and handling procedure, how it has to be dealt with, content of the cartons, and unique graphics of the products, coupon, discount, features, and then green labeling, fair labeling, labeling which is related to nutrition labeling, then whether product is recyclable or not, where it has been manufactured, and safety standards, especially environmental standards of the country of imports. In addition to that, one should also know in logistics the role of unitization, because once goods are manufactured, they're packed. Once they're packed, they has to be unitized for the purpose of easy dispensing, easy handling, and during the course of loading and unloading in international trade. So packets are created into crates, crates are created into units are created into pallet are container, and then finally it goes to vessel, either by vessel or by lash barges. That is the value chain that we should understand. These are some of the examples how the cargo is unitized. You just see. In ancient time, or maybe some 50 year back, our Indian Army even today use these slings. These cargo which is used to be moved through using slings. So you can have several gunny bags or several what we call as lumber, wood lumber, kept on a sling and which can be put into the hold of a vessel. So these are the ways through which you can have a good unit load of cargo which can be easily handled. And dear friends, this is how the slings looks like. You just can see, we can see it many times at airports or at ports being used by Indian Army. These are some of the examples. You can see that how you can leverage in easy dispensing of cargo. When you move international traded cargo, how you can easily load and unload it using slings. And then these are the new examples: crates, boxes, carton, bins. These are some of the new examples. How especially these bins become very important in the automobile industry, where the product portfolio will be very, very different. Dear friends, in addition to that, when cargo is unitized, we put them on a pallets. This is how pallets looks like. Pallets may be made from wood. Pallets may be made, now there are fiber pallets also. Fiber pallets are much more getting more popular. They can be used again and again. They do not require fumigation through what we call coating of methyl bromide or heat treating, which is required in case of wood container, so as to comply with international standards of International Plant Protection Convention, IPPC, which mandate the certain standards, and those standards are known as ISPM 15, International Standards for Phytosanitary Measures 15. That is the nomenclature. Earlier nomenclature was 12, now it is 15. These standards become very important when you export countries such as Australia, United States of America, and New Zealand, dear friends. In addition to that, we must know container, because these pallets are stuffed into containers, and from there the containers are loaded on a vessel, and from vessel they are moved out of India. So you just can see containers are, you say, stuffed in at a factory. So first packing is important, then labeling is important, marketing important, then you unitize the cargo, then you palletize it, and through a cart, through a small what we call it, TT cart, you move it into a stuff into a container, Containers then are brought to what we call as ICD, Inland Container Depot, CFS, which is nothing but a hub and spoke model. In order to ensure balanced economic development of different part of the country, Government of India has promoted the idea of what we call as dry ports, which are of two type. Big locations, which are of area of 4 hectare, almost 10 acre of area, minimum area is 10 acre. That those are the norms from Ministry of Commerce, which mandates that, and it must have a particular number of TEU, for example, 8,000 TEU in a year. Then there must be directional split. Then those locations may be declared under Customs Act, Section 7, Section 8, Section 9. As they can be bonded as a custom stations. They can be appointed as a custom station, so they can work as a dry port. Then there are CFS, Container Freight Station. So this is nothing but a hub and spoke model. So goods move from various CFS to ICD, and from ICD it moves by train to the gateway port. So in this example we can take, since I'm speaking from Delhi, I can take an example. In Delhi you will find good number of inland container depot, but there are industrial cluster very close to Delhi. What those are? Number one, let me take an Aligarh. So Aligarh has a CFS. Then there is an industrial cluster, what we call as Hapur. Hapur has a what we call as CFS. Then there is an industrial cluster to this side, what we call Hisar. So there is a CFS there. So they pull the cargo to ICD. What are the ICD? In ICD you'll find there is a what we call as Gadi Hasru in Gurgaon. Then there is a ICD, what we call Tikadi, Tughlakabad. Then Dadri is a ICD, Loni is a ICD, Patbadganj is a ICD. Then there is a ICD by GM Bakshi Group in Sonipat, okay? DCIT, what we call it. So dear friends, this cargo is feeded from several CFS to ICD, and from ICD it is moving to gateway port. And basic difference is that ICD's FCL cargo is handled, full container load. CFS LCL cargo is handled. Stuffing, de-stuffing, aggregation, de-aggregation, reworking of container, repair, maintenance, those issues which cannot be resolved at ICD should be done at CFS. So it become a hub and spoke model. Our country has more than 268 ICDs and CFS all across the country, maximum being in a state of Tamil Nadu, followed by Gujarat, because these are the two states which are too good. So what benefits this have? So goods moving from one location to gateway port, it will create a zigzag in the country, and that zigzag may result in huge logistics, what we call dysfunctions, and may create inefficiency. So what we do, we manufacture the cargo, bring it to terminal, from one terminal through a train, dedicated train. Now the trains are also for Anaconda, Ajgar. These are the trains which can carry as much as of 40 feet size. They can be carried away. So Indian Railway is also mobilizing. Then we have coming up dedicated freight corridor, what we call Western Corridor and Eastern Corridor. Western Corridor we are going to start very soon, where a freight train will start from Ludhiana, will go up to Mundra and JNPT. So these are the two ports that we will touch. Similar fashion, it will start from Ludhiana, and even there is a plan to start it from Amritsar to Dankuni, which is a place very close to Kolkata. So Eastern and what we call as Western dedicated freight corridor we are coming up. So goods will move from terminal in Ludhiana, and they will go to a terminal at JNPT, Panvel, which may have 14, 15, what we call ICD. So dear friends, and then it will go to final destination. So it creates efficiency by providing a seamless door-to-door operations by leveraging dry ports. So dry ports basically provide seamless and what we call door-to-door operations in international logistics. We can take an example here. In this example, we can see that there can be pooling of cargo in an industrial cluster like Ludhiana, from where the goods can be moved by a train to a gateway port. So there are trains which can take as good as 96 container, or there are trains now coming up such as Ajgar, Anaconda. These are the nicknames which the Indian Railway is giving them, and they can move as much as 124, 130 containers at one go, and they are moved to a gateway ports, and from there they go to a destination. Dear friends, dry ports are gateway ports. They are usually close to what we call as production center or a place of consumption. So you will find ICD and CFS either in the industrial clusters or in the urban areas. For example, in Gurgaon there are two ICD CFS. They are known as Gadi Hasru and Patli. In Delhi there is a ICD Tughlakabad. In Noida there is a ICD Dadri. In Ghaziabad there is a ICD Loni and ICD Padpajganj. Similar fashion, when we go to this side what we call as Sonipat side, There is a ICD which is known as JM Baksh. It is owned by JM Baksh. It is very close to a place called Murthal. So these are the basically what we call a logistic gateways, which to help in handling and temporary storage of exportable and importable cargo. Both stuffed and unstuffed container, they are a common user facility. Any exporter and importer can use them. They can be used for purpose of home consumption, warehousing, and on transit of the cargo. So dry ports are also leveraged at gateway ports so as to decongest them. They are treated as off-dock facilities. Goods are unloaded from the vessel. They are never stored at the port town. They are moved to a nearby CFS, which may be 5, 10 kilometer, 15 kilometer, or maybe 20 kilometer outside the port area. So this way we can decongest our port and we can leverage them effectively for higher productivity and higher throughput. Dear friends, these are the various type of cargo which is handled in international trade logistics, and there are different type of vessels for that purpose. Automobile cargo is handled by RoRo, roll on, roll off. So these vessels, a car at the speed of 40 go directly inside. May request all of you to just type on YouTube video RoRo vessel. You will see the beautiful videos coming up from Hyundai plants in Incheon in South Korea. Then break bulk cargo, container vessel, bulk cargo, ship with hull. So the ship may have 5 hull, 6 hull, which it may be as long as 300 meter, 350 meter. There are holds which carry cargo such as coal, iron ore. So there are hull inside and what we call is there are a very dedicated mechanized loading and unloading jetties to deal with such kind of cargo. Then there is a what we call it non-bulk cargo, which is usually handled also by container vessels, which constitute almost 45% of the global fleet. Then there is a container edge cargo, which will be handled by container. Over dimension cargo, project cargo like windmill blade or windmill or oil jigs, something. They are usually handled by what we call heavy lift vessels, open dock ships also. And then there is a liquid cargo, which usually transport gas and crude oil. They are almost around 40% of the global fleet. Tankers are of different type. For example, there are tankers which are known as Panamax. They are known as what we call Suezmax, Aframax. Then what we call them as VLCC, very large crude carrier. Then what we call the ULCC. Now the size is increasing as technological developments are taking place. Dear friends, one must know about container. Container is nothing but a box, a standard box, which was leveraged for the first time by American gentleman known as Malcolm McLean in 1953 for the first time. In 1956, he moved around 58 containers from Newark to Houston in the United States of America by converting a normal traditional vessels into a container vessel. Their numbers are growing, and especially because they're too important. In fact, there was a survey of best inventions in 20th century. And among top 10 best inventions, container was one of them. There was a book on container. It is known as The Box by a gentleman, which talks about the increasing role of container. They're growing almost by 10%. There are around 22 million, what we call it, TEU. One TEU means that is the standard definition given by ISO, 20 feet equivalent units. Every container is 20 feet long. Or not every, but I say majority of the containers are 20 feet long, 8 feet in width and 8.6 feet height. Then there are high cube container, which may be 9.6 feet. Then there are 40 feet container, 45 feet container, 48 feet container, 53 feet container, and 57 feet container. So these are some of the type. And accordingly, the role of container vessels is also getting important. And dear friends, vessel size, starting from what we call handy size to handy max to what we call, and then we have come to Panamax, then we have come to Suezmax, and subsequently size keep on growing. Today we have a vessel known as MSC Oscar. You just type on Google or sometime or on YouTube, you can see the video of this MSC Oscar, which can carry as much as 22,000 TEU in one go. And the crew is very, very small in number and with the astounding speed of almost 50 kilometer per hour. So these are the dimensions of container. You just can see how does the container, different type of container looks like. In India, you will find majority of the container 40 feet and 45 feet. These are the two areas where we are investing. At one point of time, 20-feet container were popular, but now the future investment is coming in 40-feet container. Okay, so these are the dimensions, how much weight they can carry. If 20-feet container can carry a weight of almost 22 ton, a tier weight may be around 2.5, 2.65 ton. So total weight 22 ton plus this to 24 ton. So 24, almost 24 ton of cargo it can carry. And there are containers like what we call as 40-feet container, which can carry a weight of maybe 26, 28, 29. In other circumstances, people stuff in even 30 tons, including the tier weight. So the actual cargo may be 26 ton plus tier weight. It will become 30 tons. So the point that I want to bring home is that one should not overstuff, because now there is Article 13 of the SOLAS, that is a safety of life at sea for naval officers, for the merchant navy officers. There is a what we call international conventions which talk about VGMS, verified gross mass weight. Then these are the various type of containers. You just sometime click on Google, you will be able to find out. And that is how the container moves from one country to another country. From one ICD, goods are embarked for intra-country logistics, and they are disembarked, and what are the purpose and what the regions or what are the objectives which are served at the dry ports. Aggregation, unitization of the cargo for long distance cargo, in transit storage, localized customs and regulatory compliance, reducing pilferage and damage, liability through what we call it through bill of lading. One bill of lading for the whole journey. Optimization, container unitization, optimization of transport cost. When you stuff more cargo, you leverage your freight advantage, increasing trade flow. So between manufacturer and consumer, that is how the role of logistics or dry ports can be defined. Dear friends, now let us briefly discuss about the two type of shipping. There are two type of shipping: liner shipping and charter shipping. In charter shipping, there is a vessel which is hired, which is taken on lease. Lease may be voyage charter, it may be time charter, it may be bareboat charter, it may be demise charter, it may be contract of affreightment. So these are the ways and means through which you can take a vessel. And usually the vessels are owned by the countries where the capital investments is very high, and they are taken by companies in India. For example, Indian Oil or Coal India Limited or Adani, they would like to hire a vessel so as to transport coal or crude oil from Saudi Arabia or from Australia to India. Other type of shipping is known as liner shipping, which has a dedicated, what we call dedicated and fixed trade routes, definite schedules, definite path, definite logistic journey. Even the day of arrival and day of departure is fixed. So they have a definite schedule, and their schedule is prefixed, and it is announced usually in the beginning of the year, where lot of container vessels are moved from one country to another country. So dear friends, during the course of this whole discussion, we try to understand the various logistics elements and how we can leverage them in foreign trade. Dear friends, logistics is a very dynamic and big subject. May I request all of you to explore it further by reading additional blogs or buying a good book in the market, which may be named as International Trade Logistics or Logistics Management, something like that. You explore it, and you further read about it, because these subjects require thorough understanding, especially for a country like India, where the logistic cost is very high. So in order to cut logistic cost, our exporter and importers are encouraged and are motivated and are requested to further study logistics so that they can manage their export-import operations in a much more effective and efficient manner. So dear friends, I'm indeed happy that what we have learned today. We have learned that what is logistics. We have learned why logistics is important. We have learned the issues which are important in logistics. And then we try to understand that what is the role of, various elements of marketing mix, and how the place, which is an important element of marketing mix, requires sub-elements. For example, transportation, inventory management, economic order quantity, then issues which are related to warehousing, and ultimately the movement of goods from point of origin to point of consumption. Dear friends, we also understood the role of what we call packing, labeling, and marking. When we discuss about packing, we understood that in packing there are three purposes being served. These are: number one, promotion of goods, preservation of goods, and protections of goods in international logistics. Dear friends, we also understood about labeling. about marking of export-import consignments, and we've taken some practical examples also. And dear friends, we also understood about the role of containers. What are the different type of containers? How dry ports, which are ICD and CFS, can be leveraged in EXIM operations. We also understood about various types of various types of container, various modes of transports, then various kinds of vessels which are used in international transports, and then finally we understood briefly about the role of shipping in movement of internationally traded cargo between two countries. Dear friends, logistics is an important function, and you say that the policymakers as well as exporter both need to pay attention on that. I would like to just give you 2-3 examples. China is investing billions of dollars in terms of creating economic corridors so as to move their goods faster, quicker, in an efficient manner and effective manner. For example, CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Then they have BCIM, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar Economic Corridor. They are working on what we call a policy, a string of pearls. They are working on other areas also. And we also, as a nation, has to play our cards by creating the similar kind of infrastructure. For example, this government has come with a beautiful idea of integrating neighbor first. Neighbor first, when we say Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and India. So we have a policy, what we call it BCIM, BBIN. And then, dear friends, we are also working on North-South corridor. And with these words, I will request all of you to please pay attention to these issues and leverage logistics knowledge in your day-to-day operations of export and import. Thank you very much.